She secretly followed Zara, a middle-aged woman in her late 40s, through the misty paths of Akur because she wanted to find out where Zara is always going to at the early hours of the morning, and she was surprised at what she found. Fatima was a popular food vendor at the bustling village market of Akur, where the scent of spices lingered in the air. Her food was legendary, whispered about in every corner of the town. People came from far and wide to eat her food. Sometimes, when there are so much customers at Zara's store, all the dishes will be left dirty and unattended to, and then people will line up to wash their dishes before they can get served at the store. Fatima would tell them, "Make sure you wash your plates. Wash the plates and bring them before I serve you. If you come with a dirty plate, I will not serve you." And you will see the customers hesitant, running to wash their dishes just to have a taste of Fatima's testing meal. Zara, with her imposing figure, sharp eyes, and a vibrant green scarf she always wore, ruled over her kitchen like a queen. Her dishes were truly delicious. You can never have a taste of Fatima's meal without coming back the next day. But there was a mystery that surrounded Fatima's restaurant, a secret that piqued the curiosity of her colleagues because they wondered why Fatima's restaurant was always crowded with customers to the extent that they will have to line up and even wash their own dishes before they get served. Whenever Zara is cooking, there's a particular pot she is very strict about. She will warn all her staff not to open that pot, and whenever she's cooking, she's always standing in front of that pot or sitting close to that pot or sitting close to that pot just to make sure that nobody opens the pot. Only Zara opens and closes that particular pot. Also, every day, there's a particular place Fatima always visits before daybreak. Another food vendor, Mariam, who sells food on the same street where Fatima's restaurant is located, decided to find out what exactly Fatima does to attract customers because she no longer makes sales. All her customers have gone to Fatima's store. Nobody visits her restaurant anymore. She was told by one of Fatima's staff that Fatima is always standing in front of a particular pot whenever that pot is on the fire, and that she always leaves early hours of the morning to a particular place and comes back before daybreak. So, Mariam decided to find out what exactly and where exactly Zara visits. The next day, Mariam secretly followed Fatima, tiptoeing behind her through narrow alleys and overgrown trails, just to ensure that she discovers where she always visits in the morning. Unfortunately, she failed because all of a sudden, she lost track of Fatima's movement among the shadowy paths and just gave up. Fatima's restaurant continued to flourish and boom with more and more customers coming from east, west, north, and south just to have a taste of her meal. The demand of customers became higher, and she needed more hands at the restaurant. She employed a young girl called Salma, a curious and determined 20-year-old. Salma was intelligent, curious, and determined. On the day she resumed, Zara strictly warned her, just as she has always warned the other staff of that particular pot, that she should not go close to that pot, and she should not open that pot. One day, Salma asked one of the staff at the restaurant why Zara always gave a strict warning not to open that pot, and her colleague said, "I don't know. Ever since I've been working in this restaurant, nobody dares to open this pot. So please, Salma, in order not to buy Fatima's trouble, don't try to go close or open her pot." Salma became more curious and wondered what exactly was inside that pot that forbade Zara from allowing anyone to open the pot. She asked herself, what exactly is she hiding in that pot that is so precious? I am Salma, and I must find out what exactly is in that pot. One day, Salma almost opened the pot, but Zara caught her, her sharp eyes blazing with anger, and was very angry at Salma. She seriously warned her not to ever come close again. But this did not stop Salma's curiosity. She was this kind of girl that is determined to find out something if she puts her mind to it. Salma discovered that there's a particular place Zara visits every morning. Early one misty morning, she decided to follow Zara secretly again to find out where she is always going to. Salma was shocked and surprised at what she had just discovered. She just found out where Fatima always visited, but she decided not to say a word because she still needed to find out what exactly is in that pot that Zara always covers. My name is Salma, she said, and I always find anything I want to find. One busy day at the restaurant, with customers buzzing around like flies, Salma was thinking of a way to distract Zara from the front of this pot. Then she quickly went to Zara and started shouting, Madam, 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 the shop is on fire. The shop is on fire. Come, 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 come. Come and see. The shop is on fire. Out of fear, Zara was shocked and distracted. She quickly hurried to the front of the shop to see the fire outbreak, her sandals clapping noisily on the floor, forgetting the pot on the fire. Salma seized the opportunity. She tiptoed to the pot. Her heart was trembling. Her hands were shaking. Salma lifted the lid, expecting to find a treasure of culinary wonders. But what she saw made her scream in horror. Instead of the delicious dishes, the pot contained a liquid dark and ominous, blood boiling inside the pot. Salma started shouting. The commotion drew everyone's attention, and soon the entire restaurant was staring at the open pot of blood boiling on the fire. Fatima returned, her eyes narrowing as she took in the scene. Then she realized that she had been caught, and she started confessing. But before she started confessing, Salma had already started narrating how she discovered that Fatima always visited a mortuary where she gets liquid used in washing dead bodies to cook her meal. She also visited a native doctor who always gave her a substance to pour into that pot so that substance can turn into blood. The more the blood boiled on the fire, the more customers came trooping in and out of the restaurant. Fatima started narrating how she started the food business at the initial stage and how there were no sales. Sometimes she would come to the shop, and for 2 days she wouldn't make sales, and all her food would get spoiled and wasted. She really needed money to take care of her children, so she decided to go into diabolical means. That is why she uses water used in washing dead bodies and the boiling blood from the native doctor to cook, just so she can start making sales. Ever since then, she has been making a lot of sales. The villagers were so mad at Zara after listening to her confession because she had been poisoning them with mortuary water and deadly blood. They started chasing her. They chased Zara with the intention of killing her, and she ran into the evil forest, her vibrant green scarf trailing behind her. To this day, nobody knows where Fatima is. They destroyed her restaurant. They also thank Salma for her bravery and courage because if not for that, nobody would have known the source of Fatima's delicious meals, nor would they have known that they had actually been feeding with mortuary water. That was how the story of Fatima, the food vendor, ended. From that day on, the people of Akur became very conscious of how they eat and where they eat. Likewise, to you two watching this story, be very cautious of where you eat because you never can tell how that meal was made. Thank you for joining me on this chilling journey into the story of Fatima and her mysterious restaurant. Remember, the lessons from Akul remind us to stay vigilant about where and how our meals are prepared. Stories like these uncover hidden truths and help us appreciate the value of integrity in everyday life. If you enjoyed this tale and want more captivating stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Together, let's continue exploring fascinating tales that entertain and enlighten.